Every other day, it's another story about a white person being uncomfortable with a black person in a space they consider a white space, whether it be a damn gym in a private office building or jogging in a predominantly white neighborhood. What do y'all not understand that segregation ended in 1964? Where the hell have you been, baby? Where have you been? Okay? And I have to ask you, what is it about black people that makes you so damn uncomfortable? Do y'all ever ask yourself that? Because realistically, according to statistics, they have a hell of a lot more to fear from us than we do from them. So why don't you marinate on that for a second?
Segregation ended, right? So why does everything still feel so separate? The neighborhoods, the schools, even the way we do business. And now, some folks want to bring it back, on purpose. But what if I told you, we might have lost more than we realized when it ended? Before I play this next video, I want you to keep an open mind. This isn't about pointing fingers. It's not about blaming one group or defending another. It's about looking at what's really happening. Because some white communities today are choosing to separate themselves. Again, not secretly, but out loud. They want to live apart from people who don't look like them. Now here's the thing. A lot of us were taught that segregation was a terrible time, and it was in many ways. But when you really think about it, our communities back then were strong. Our money stayed with us longer. We built our own schools, businesses, doctors' offices, even funeral homes. We had to depend on each other, and that built something powerful. So I'm not saying segregation was good, but I am asking, what did we really gain when it ended? And what did we lose? As you watch this video, think bigger than just race. Think about community, purpose, ownership, and legacy. Let's check it out.
I recently saw a viral video from a white content creator who claimed that white-only signs were being put up in Missouri. He said he didn't care about the reasoning behind it, that now's the time for people to speak up. Well, allow me to speak up too. Let's make one thing clear. Segregation was never the problem. White supremacy was. After slavery ended, Black Americans built thriving, self-sufficient communities. Oscarville, Seneca Village, Black Wall Street. And what happened? We circulated our own money, supported our own businesses, and we flourished until they burnt it down, drowned it, or seized it through their so-called laws. We were never afraid of being separate. We were afraid of being attacked for succeeding while being separate. Integration didn't save us, it diluted us, and it mostly benefited white folks. Because let's be honest, most Black folks today don't center whiteness in their lives. I can go weeks, even months, without socializing with a single white person, and I'm just fine. The only reason we still interact is because we have to, for work, for survival, for systems that were never built for us. So when I hear talk of white-only towns, my first thought is, good luck. Not because we are angry, but because you'll still need us to survive. You don't want white-only spaces. You want white-only control with Black, brown, and immigrant labor. You want white-only luxury with multicultural sweat. If you really want separation, real honest segregation, you stop interfering every time Black people build something beautiful. The Black dollar is $1 billion power. We've built before and we will again. But this time we demand peace. Our ancestors only fought to be included in spaces because they were locked out of resources. We don't want your acceptance. We want our autonomy. So if you want white-only towns, by all means, go build them. But this time, leave us alone while we build ours too. No burning, no bombing, no sabotage. Because separation can work, but only if your supremacy doesn't follow us into it.
I hear a far-right extremist group has started its own community in Arkansas. They have the signs up, whites only. You can, whites only, right? This will probably be a sundown town. I love this for you. Stay over there. Keep your graping over there. Keep your racism over there. Keep your fake Christian Bible over there, which you don't live by. Keep your women and their self-hate over there, because when you come out into the communities, just a few days ago, right, your self-hate got one of your women's ass whooped by a teenage Black boy. You remember? She ran up on his porch, attacked him, and he knocked her ass out. Stay in Arkansas. This is good. I love this for you. Make sure you create your own grocery stores, your own little places where you can barter with each other. Stay there. No one wants to be bothered with you because you are foul and some horrible people. Stay in your communities. I support you. Keep it up. Never leave.
So I had some white colleagues ask me what I thought about Trump actually segregating whites and blacks. And I actually told them straight up, like, honestly, I would love that. Now, they looked at me like I was crazy and they almost spit up their almond milk. And I think they thought that maybe I was saying that out of hatred, but it really isn't about hatred. Here's the thing. I'm not talking about their version of segregation. See, I'm talking about our version of righteous separation, spiritual sovereignty, and black sufficiency. See, the truth of it is that integration was never about freedom. It was finesse. It was a system's way of saying, let's stop them from succeeding independently so we can profit from their brilliance directly. It was about control. And so I want us to be very clear about this. You know, we were never separate but equal. So that's a lie. We were separate and excelling. We had our own schools. We had our own banks. We had our own businesses. And baby, we were thriving. Black Wall Street, they burned it. Rosewood, they bombed it. Wilmington, they overthrew it. Why? Because we were doing too well without them and they couldn't handle that. And so that's the truth. They didn't really want segregation gone. They wanted control. This is why we know that integration was just repackage of chains. When we were separate, we actually were building and excelling. And when they saw that we could excel without them, then it was like, oh no, we got to take control and make sure that their labor is profiting us. So right around that time, they rolled out this whole standardized testing, ACT and SAT. Y'all remember that? They created this IQ ranking to measure their norms, not our brilliance. And then we were said we were behind when we really weren't. We were just building our own lane, not asking for theirs. See, I don't know about you all, but I'm kind of tired of the lies. It's very exhausting, you know, just the lies that continue to be promoted. And I want to talk about the melanin, because this whole thing that we're not smart enough, that we're not bright enough is simply just a lie. And so, you know, all this testing that they're doing, and I have kids in school and they're made to feel that they cannot achieve. And I have to remind them about their actual superpower, melanin. See, not just your skin tone, but in your brain, specifically neuromelanin, that rich dark pigment found in areas like the substantia nigra, which are critical for learning and memory and decision making and emotional regulation. See, if you don't know, then you won't know how to respond. But when you learn about the studies that have actually linked the neuromelanin to higher concentrations and how it's related to enhanced memory and processing and higher intelligence and faster reaction times, then you know why they have hidden this information for so long. Because when you have higher melanin, you have stronger brain resilience against degenerative diseases. So translation to that is melanin doesn't just make you glow, it makes you grow. So we know that it's not coincidental that people with more melanin have historically been creators, inventors, innovators across every discipline, while also being the most suppressed, because they know that the more melanin you have in your body and in your brain actually produces higher intelligence. So the Bible also says this too in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 7. It says he placed treasures in earthen vessels. What treasures? It was in us all along, right? So we have more melanin, and we know that people with less melanin, because it's a recessive gene and it's a mutation, lack the same level of intelligence, of many different benefits that come along with that. what's so interesting about it is that we're supposed to be looking at this as if it's something negative. But why is it negative when every other cultural group does this? Group economics. See, the truth of the matter is they have stolen from us so many different things, and yet we still survive. And so I don't want to offend, but I have to be blunt here. When we invented it, they patented it. When we built it, they banked on it. So everything we created, they made sure they benefited off of it. Just like Louis Latimer. He actually developed the light bulb, but Edison got all the glory for it. And this has been going on through history. We know that Granville T. Woods laid the foundation for trains. Corporations got the contracts. Dr. Patricia Bath revolutionized eye surgery. The system licensed the tech. Black music became white record labels, billion-dollar industries off of our talent. Every time we create, they capitalize. We are the genius, but they control the royalties. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So when we talk about the facts and segregation, I want to be very clear. It's not racist. We have to understand the dynamics of this. See, the black dollar actually is the fastest running dollar in America. So let's do the math here. And I think it's quite funny. Black people have spending power over 1.6 trillion. But guess what? That dollar stays in our community just for 6 hours. While the white community their dollar stays in their community 17 days. And guess what? Asian communities, it stays in their community 20 days. Jewish communities over 3 weeks. Why? Because we're systemically disarmed from owning what we build. And this is no coinky dink. The scripture said this would happen. So now our dollar does the labor, but the system collects the check. And this is why I support segregation on our own terms. See, that 400 years of slavery is over. And when I say that I want us to be segregated, I don't mean oppressed. I mean organize. Let's build black banks again. Let's educate our babies on the truth, not whitewashed lies. And let's support black farmers, black techs, black healing, black brilliance. And no, it doesn't mean I hate white people. No, it means I finally love us enough to stop begging for scraps from a table we built but never welcomed to.
So let me ask you this one question while we're on the subject. If certain people truly want to bring back segregation and live completely separate lives, free from anything connected to black folks, how exactly would they do that? I do think this might be a great opportunity for those communities, if this is what they want to build for themselves. Self-sufficiency is powerful, and I support anyone, black, white, or otherwise, who wants to create something strong for their people. But if you're going to do that while completely cutting black folks out of your world, you might want to think twice. Because you're going to have to find a new way to keep your food cold, since the modern refrigerator was invented by a black man named Frederick McKinley Jones. You'll need a different way to light up your streets at night, because Garrett Morgan created the traffic light. You'll probably need to come up with a whole new plan for mass communication, since Granville T. Woods helped improve the telegraph and laid the foundation for telephone and radio systems. Let's not forget the elevator, improved by Alexander Miles, or the gas mask, invented by Garrett Morgan again. Oh, and if you're using a microwave, a lawnmower, a fountain pen, or even a clothes dryer, yeah, a black person had their hands in that too. You see, black inventors have contributed to nearly every part of modern life, but we don't always get taught that in school. And the truth is, if you removed black innovation from America, you'd be left with an unfinished version of the world. So to those who want separation, go ahead. But let's not pretend we were never connected in the first place. You'll have to do more than just build a fence or move to a different town. You'd have to rewrite history. But let me flip it now and speak directly to my people. Segregation? It was forced on us before. But what if we chose our own version of it now, not out of hate, but out of strategy? Because think about it. When segregation existed, our dollars circulated within our communities. Black-owned banks, grocery stores, barbershops, doctors, schools. We had everything we needed, and we were building wealth, businesses, and legacies. Today, the average black dollar only stays in our community for about 6 hours. while in other communities, it circulates for days or even weeks. That's not by accident, that's economic leakage. So if they want to rebuild their communities, cool, but we need to rebuild ours too, not because we want to separate, but because we need to reconnect with ourselves. Real power isn't in fitting in. It's in knowing who you are, building with who you love, and circulating your resources where your people can thrive. You want to talk about a movement? Let's start a movement where we pour back into our communities, where we teach our kids who Madam C.J. Walker, George Washington Carver, and Lewis Latimer were, not just during Black History Month, but year-round. Let's build again, not out of fear, not out of anger, but out of vision. Because the truth is, Black excellence has never needed permission to exist. We've always been inventing, building, leading, and surviving, in spite of the systems meant to break us. So if some folks want to go their own way, that's their right. But while they're building what they think they need, let's rebuild what we once had. Strong communities, strong families, and economic power rooted in self-determination. Because maybe we were better off when we had no choice but to depend on each other. Thanks for watching. If this made you think, if it made you question, if it opened your eyes, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Let's start a real conversation, and let's not just talk, let's build.